Welcome to the highlights and match reaction show for the UEFA Champions League. We are sponsored by our partners for the entire season at Topps Kick 23. Topps Kick are the official digital collectibles app of the UEFA Champions League. Topps Kick is back for the 22-23 season, where you can collect and trade your favorite players from across the Champions League with football fans all around the world. The app has new packs available every week, brand new cards, original artworks, and classic top card designs. Throughout the course of this season, I want to build with you the ultimate Champions League squad with Topps Kick. So get the app downloaded right now. It's available worldwide and it is free. I'm going to be playing along throughout the entire Champions League season from tonight right and through to the final, and I want to see you there. The link is available in the description below to download the Topps Kick 23 app. You can also scan the QR code that will be on the screen throughout the course of this stream. But make sure like buttons are being smashed. You're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Big shout out to Topps. Let's do this. Chelsea Milan was exciting for the first 18 minutes, and I'm sure we're going to get into what happened in that game. I'm sure we're going to delve into it in a little bit more detail. I know it was muted. Javon didn't unmute us. He slacking there. Slacking. No, we weren't. No, we weren't. We were definitely muted, but it's cool. We're here, people. Smash the like and the share buttons. It was a few seconds. No one's going to cry too much over that. But yeah, lots to delve into tonight. And I know the big talking point, we've actually got a poll running on the Football Terrace. I'm going to get it up on our screen right now so that we can see it. For whether people thought Tomori should have been sent off, because I think in the Chelsea game, that kind of killed the contest.
Yeah.
Whether people think it was right or whether people think it was wrong, that kind of ended the game as a contest. What was your take on it? Did he deserve a red card in your opinion?
Well, at first, seeing it and watching it replayed, it did kind of feel like a soft foul, if that's what you want to call it. Like if that was outside of the box, it probably would have been a foul, but nothing more than that, maybe. Yeah. But then, when you look at the way that the law is, like the letter of the law, by that standard alone, it was a penalty and a red card, regardless of if we think you need to slide tackle somebody in the box and take their legs out to get the penalty. And so, of course, at first, I'm just like, well, Mount stayed on his feet. It was a little tug back. Like, it doesn't look like much. But yeah, by the letter of the law, it is a red card and a penalty. And it just is what it is. The rules are what they are.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people. I tweet like I always do when those decisions happened and ask for opinions. And most people said it was harsh. But from my point of view, I don't feel it was harsh at all. And again, I'm going to remain consistent here, as I do on all my streams when it comes to these decisions. My feeling was that it was a pull on the shoulder. That pull on the shoulder stopped Mason Mount from being able to get a clean attempt on goal. The only reason that we're debating it is because Mason Mount was honest. Mason Mount stayed on his feet. He didn't dive. He didn't simulate. Exactly what we ask players to do. And then suddenly we moan that it's a harsh red card. So we either want players to dive, simulate, play act, and fall over, or we want them to be honest. And the referee, I thought, had a shocker for the majority of the game. The irony is, the one decision that he gets right seems to be the one that everybody's kicking off the most about. It was a foul, and I'm sick and tired of this. Well, it would be a foul outside the box, but not in the box. And when a player is through on goal, and they're denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity, if there was no attempt to play the ball, then it is 110% a red card. And we need to see more of that. We need to see more honesty from players like Mason Mount, not diving, not play acting, not rolling around like crying toddlers. That's it for me. I mean, and Tomori, listen, I'm someone that said he should have maybe started for England, been in the England squad, started for England over Maguire. I'm going to apologize for that opinion. I watched Tomori in these 2 games against Chelsea. The guy's a Serie A player. He's no Premier League player. The guy can play at that speed and that pace. Chelsea have utterly destroyed him. Not in 180 minutes. They destroyed him over what? 100 or so minutes. They ripped his defense from limb in the first leg. And in the second leg, the man gets sent off inside, 15, 16, 17 minutes. It's an abomination. And that's his World Cup dream over. I mean, he might go, but honestly, maybe I got pulled into the hype of everyone saying how well he was doing. I saw him playing a few games. The reports coming out of Italy about him were great. But in these 2 matches against one of the best teams in Europe, Chelsea, he's looked so average. He really, really has.
I feel like that might be a little bit harsh. He definitely didn't play well. We all know that. He was probably trying too hard to make a statement. I think he may have been a little bit in his head. He had a little speech that he put out there before this game. And I think, you can't really blame a young player that maybe felt like he was hard done by, maybe by Chelsea, and then coming to a game and kind of having that on his brain. You're somebody that's definitely backs Harry Maguire in terms of like, well, what he does for England is what he does for England. But, when he has his form for Manchester United, it's fine because it's different. If Tomori could perform for England, I don't think these games really matter in that. It's just he's not as established. So I'm not sure that this is any sort of indication of the type of player that he is. I think he's a young player that made mistakes in these games, but just because he didn't play well against Chelsea doesn't necessarily mean that he's not a good player or he's not at the level or did not achieve what people felt like he achieved over the last year or so.
Look, I understand that, and he can certainly get better. But people, and I said I got dragged into this as well, and maybe it was because of my frustration with Maguire, my frustration with the way England were playing. But we've been talking about him like he's Maldini, like he's Prime Yap Stam, like he's John Terry, like he's the Sol Campbell. Like that's how he's been spoken about. And tonight was his big test. Tonight he played against a team better than every single Serie A team. Last week he played against a team better than every single Serie A team, and he looked poor. Now you're absolutely right. That doesn't mean he shouldn't be in the England squad. He should definitely have been given some game time. But the way people have been talking that he is England's best centre back, these last 2 games have proven them to be absolutely wrong about that. He's not England's best centre back. Like he's been good for over there, but maybe he needs to test himself in a harder league, because if that's how he's going to perform against the best teams around, well, great. He'll be okay against the small European World Cup sides and international teams. But what's he going to do in the big games? I
mean, but how do the likes of Connor Cody and Mings and these guys perform against Chelsea on a regular basis? Like,
well, I don't think they're that good either. And that's a great argument, but that isn't what I'm saying. I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the squad. I said people have been talking about him like he's the best centre back we've got. He isn't. And the last 2 games for me I've said I did that. I'm having a go at myself here. He's been awful these last few games. He's really poor.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I guess I haven't been around the people that have been saying that he should be starting or he's the best. I know people that have been just advocating for him to be one of the 18 center backs that are in that team.
Again, and you're arguing with me. I just said he should be. I'm saying when people are talking about him like he's the best center back we've got, he isn't. I got hoodwinked. We all got hoodwinked. And the last 2 games have proven it, because he was shocking in both games. Distribution shocking, positioning shocking, tackling shocking, everything shocking. And tonight epitomized it. He deserved the red card. 100. And I know, look, Chelsea fans are going to back him because he's a Chelsea boy, Cobham boy. I understand it. And I didn't want to see him go through this, but he did. And he deserves criticism for it, like any other player. Would deserve to, because if it was anybody else tonight, they would be getting criticized. Tomori is not exempt from criticism as far as I'm concerned. Terry, Chelsea are cooking again. I'm loving this. I mean, Chelsea are looking good again, aren't they? 3 wins on the bounce with clean sheets. Another goal for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the Champions League as well. So, yeah, very, very good night for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm on record of saying many, many times that I knew Aubameyang would score goals in a team where he's having chances created for him. And we know that Graham Potter and his teams, they create tons and tons of chances. And he probably could have gotten a hat trick today. Let's be real. Like, he had that many chances. And I think the Chelsea team has looked good. And I think this does show that maybe Tuchel, in the way that they were playing under him, held some players back. One player in particular that I do think is starting to shine and show his quality again is Mason Mount. Another assist for him. He had, I think, 2 on the weekend.
Yeah.
And he's not really playing in a different position per se, but he's allowed to be free in that system and do what he does best, which is float into pockets, make runs, and affect the game in the attacking third. And so Potter ball is definitely starting to cook, and this Chelsea team is definitely looking scary. They always have the talent and the quality of players.
Looking what?
Huh?
Looking what?
What?
They're looking what? Good. You said a very special word then.
I don't remember.
You said Chelsea are looking scary, people.
Oh, yeah.
It's cottoning on.
Scary.
It's cottoning on. The word scary now. Scary is everyone's saying it. I'm seeing people saying scary about everybody now. I started a trend.
Yeah. So they definitely look scary. And yeah, some players are just coming back into form and start showing their quality again. And that's good for them.
Absolutely. 9 yellow cards, 1 red card. Milan were dirty. Reminds me of that famous David Brent line. Milan are dirty. A win is a win. 9 games in October. I'll take it. Listen, Moose Wizard, I think you bang on. In the second half, Chelsea were playing within themselves, and they still were very, very good, in my opinion. Could have scored 2 or 3 more goals, and it didn't matter the 10 men. They would have beaten Milan either way. There's no doubt about it in my mind. This comment here says, Terry, I'm cool with the pen, but the red card, harsh, game over. Do you know what I'd say, Gio? I know you're a Milan fan, and you're very fair. This is my issue with it. You have to referee the games by the letter of the law. I'm not into this. It ruins I got it ruined the game. We literally, Jess, I, and Javerne sat here and were like, oh, that's it, game over. So as a spectacle, it was ruined, but I don't want referees changing the laws on the pitch to make it a better spectacle for everybody at home, because that's a slippery slope. That's a real slippery slope. Forget the penalty. I'm more worried about my legend, Reece James. If he is injured, doubters thought he wasn't making it out the groups. Who's laughing now? You know what, Barbar? You were bottom of the group this time last week. You're now top of the group and very, very likely to go through. And that's down to one man primarily, and that is Mr. Harry James Potter himself. You know, he's doing bits. The Expelliarmus and all that. He's doing bits. Great group results for Chelsea today. The refs seemed to like reaching for his pocket today. Bring on Villa and Salzburg. Yeah, they're starting to look good, as Jess has already said. I totally agree. Is Tomori's challenge a foul? If it is, then by the letter of the law, it's a pen and denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity, which is a red. And it isn't even denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity. The law has been adjusted to make it even easier for people. If it was a slide tackle trying to win the ball, it's a yellow card. But there was no attempt to win the ball. And unfortunately for Tomori, he'll wake up tomorrow morning feeling really annoyed at himself for doing that. Chalobah needs to get a call-up for England, is what Chelsea Blue says. Juve to the Europa League Knights, big win. Listen, the other results tonight, we're going to put them up on the screen real quickly. Before I do that, make sure you're downloading the Tops Kick app. Lots of new cards now available on there for you. I've been playing it all night, actually. I'm going to have a little go later. The Leao one's out. I got that today. 3.5 times the points on the fantasy game as well. Get that downloaded, get that done. Lots of Chelsea ones available, as you can see here. Some legend cards available too. So make sure you're getting that downloaded by scanning that QR code on the screen now. I had a much better night in the fantasy league as well. So I'm up. I was in 600 place. I've jumped up 100 places tonight. Loving it. And I was awarded a very, very special Rafinha card. So I'm hoping he bags some goals tomorrow night on that game. Get yourself signed. I want a big shout out, by the way, to Simon808, who's currently top of the table. I mean, I'm on 1,200 points. He's currently top on 16,000 points. But I'm going to catch you. I'm going to gain no matter what. These are the results that are out tonight, though, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. Dortmund with a draw at home to Sevilla. One of the big shocks of the night, Paris Saint-Germain, after Mbappe's very, very famous transfer request, essentially, today. Real Madrid drawing to Shakhtar Donetsk as well. And, of course, City I mean, I want to say something about City drawing. How do they expect to beat Arsenal to the Premier League title if they can't beat Copenhagen?
I mean, no Haaland, no goals. That's what it looks like to me.
I know. It was a disappointing night for them indeed, no doubt about it whatsoever. Let's have a look at some more of these comments here. Let's look at these. Terry Reid, the stats says it all. Talk about that. I didn't read the stats tonight. And the reason I didn't read the stats is because it's just one of them games where the eye test says it all. But let's have a little look here. 15 shots to 7 from Chelsea, 70% possession, 93% pass completion for Chelsea, 12 created chances in the game. Yeah, Chelsea were dominant. They battered them. They ruined them. But let's have a look up into the red card and see what it looked like then. We'll scroll this back to the red card at like 18 minutes. Chelsea then, slightly more of the ball, no shots at that point, but it was fairly even until then. But I don't know, the eye test up into that point, I just felt like Chelsea were going to have far too much for them in that game. Igal has the ultimate jinx power. If he had praised the Aubameyang signing, then he would have flopped. But because he's completely ruled out Aubameyang, he will blossom. Aubameyang's looking sharp, though.
Yeah, he is looking
sharp.
Yeah.
You regretting it yet?
Not at all.
You are regretting a little bit. You're regretting it a little bit, innit? Little regret. No regrets. I reckon there's a little. No, I don't think Arsenal fans won't be regretting it because Jesus is doing well. You're top of the league, but I think people that wrote Aubameyang off, it was a little bit silly. Silly, chizzy, wizzy, willy.
It was never that he wasn't a good player. He just wasn't. He just wasn't the right fit for us. Good fit for Chelsea. They definitely need a number 9 that can just put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what he does. He's a nice stopgap until they get probably who they really want to. But yeah, Aubameyang can always score goals. Like, he's very dangerous when you're creating chances for him. So there may be some Arsenal fans that feel some type of way. I know there's a lot of Arsenal fans that still love him, but yeah, if you think we're gonna be up at night thinking about Aubameyang,
is that 3 games in the last, 3 games in his last 3 games? Sorry, 3 goals in his last 3 games, 4 goal contributions in his last 4 games. It's 4 and 5 for Aubameyang. He's looking really good. And I think, as you already alluded to, Mason Mount as well. Another assist tonight for him, but another very good performance as well. And he really needed it, Mount.
Well, it was just a couple of weeks ago where I forget who it was, but we were on maybe one of the top 6 shows, and there were some Chelsea fans that had all but written him off, and said that he wasn't a very good player, and he would never be that good for Chelsea, and he needed to kind of be a squad player. And I just thought it was just too soon. Like, some players go through bad patches, that's just how it goes. And everybody was suffering under Tuchel. When everybody is playing poorly, it's hard to just pick out one player and say that it's on them. And Mount has always been a very good player. Is he world class or anything like that? We have to wait on those things. But he's by all accounts been very creative. Always had an eye for goal. Yeah. And yeah, I think he looks really bright and rejuvenated under Graham Potter.
Yeah, most definitely. We had a little issue here with my computer in front of me. I'm not too sure what happened. I think it might have just crashed, but we're still live because Javern's computer is okay. I agree with the Mason Mount thing. I think from my point of view, I kind of look at him as a player who I understood the criticism he was getting.
Yeah.
And I said a few weeks ago, maybe I got a little bit too ahead of myself when it comes to the praise of him and whatever else a little while back. But actually, I'm glad to see a player work hard. I'm glad to see a player put the elbow grease in. I'm glad to see a player, fight for what he wants, fight to try and get to where, to where he wants to be. And he's really working hard to get back into this Chelsea team. And I think that Chelsea is making so many changes, new players that are being bought well ahead of time. There's obviously situations with, technical directors, a new manager, new system, new style. And it's almost a case of, well, if you don't kind of get your head down and work hard, you're going to be out the door. Mm-hmm. And I think that message is really worming its way into the dressing room. And it's a very positive thing to have kind of become part of your football club, that you have to work hard, you have to grind, and you're not just going to get picked. Because maybe, just maybe, and I think why some Chelsea fans were willing to write him off so easy was because he was a little bit of a teacher's pet. He always got picked no matter what was going on. And maybe now they're saying, well, maybe Graham Potter's going to be different and you're going to play a meritocracy as opposed to being a Cobham boy, which, I know we all want our academy players to do well. You've got Saka, we've got Rashford, but I know you love Arsenal and I love Man United more than we love the players. And I'm sure most Chelsea fans feel exactly the same.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to just touch on as well is Graham Potter's team management and how he's managed the going in between the Premier League, getting those points and making sure he also gets the points in Europe. They have a very big squad, and I'm not sure it was being used in the same way. He had almost a completely different team, not completely, but there's players that came in during the week, or on the weekend and played in the Premier League. They got the 3-0 win pretty easily, and then he's now played the team with Aubame in the Champions League, and it seems like everybody's happy. Graham Potter, he hasn't coached in the Champions League, but he seems to already kind of know how to manage a big squad, and he seems like he has buy-in from some big players. That's big for somebody that doesn't really have that level of
experience. But I think it's interpersonal skills. And sometimes I think we as fans are naive to who is rated within football and who isn't. Man United fans have got this habit of saying, "Oh, what's Darren Fletcher doing in there?" Most people in football that talk about him go, "The guy knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing." But we have this habit of if somebody's face doesn't fit, it might be the haircut isn't right. I mean, Graham Potter's changed a little bit. He's got a bit of a fade. He's dressing nicer now. And maybe those things kind of help. But I think the players aren't stupid. They're going to hear right away. And Todd Bowley's laid the law down. Todd Bowley's told them, this ain't the old Chelsea. You guys don't get to throw managers out anymore. Ownership is key. If the owners allow the players to know that the manager is in charge, it doesn't matter what you think because you're not in power anymore. And clubs look what's going on at PSG at the minute. They've got a player in power who's angry because Messi's become more powerful than him. Neither should have power. Neither should have power, like that degree of power. The club, the owners, the fans, that's where the power should be, not with the players. The players are compensated enough to not have power. Like what you get paid is why you don't get power. Doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't care much for Chelsea, a plastic club. Terry, now that you've got good hair, it's time to get into the gym again, my guy. What are you saying, you mug? Hang on a minute, son. Get in the gym. What are you saying? You saying I'm looking fat? In fairness, I am, bruv. I have put the pounds on. I've put the pounds on. A lot of weight I've put on. But the hair is looking thick, luscious, gorgeous, and beautiful. The ref was horrible, but somehow managed to get the penalty decision correct. A broken clock is right twice a day. Big up to you two and the TFT crew. Thank you, Chelsea fan. My guy here, Juan, says Champions League for Chelsea again. Good. Do you know he says? That's what I was going to say to you. Graham Potter, it may be a bit of a joke, but I heard that Graham Potter said that he's never even been to a Champions League game, let alone managed one before he managed in it. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But Chelsea could win it. Chelsea are probably not in the top 5 favorites, but they could win it. They're not. If they get back to a point where they don't concede goals, of course Chelsea can win it. Will they? I don't think so, but could they win it? Of course. Chelsea will win the Champions League. Say it with chest is what man like Jafar says here. Terry, is it still a new manager bounce? Wait for City. You can't just judge how good Graham Potter is or isn't by his performances against City. Surely you've got to be a bit more open-minded than just if he beats City then he's good. Surely.
Well, I mean, I do think it's an interesting argument just to say like, Chelsea, it could be something that let's see how long, like let's give it some more time to see, because they are going to play some more difficult games. Like I was looking at their schedule. I was like, okay, so I think they have to play Man United, then they're going to play Arsenal. Things will get a little bit more difficult, and we'll see how this Potter ball stands up to teams that are playing well. Because I don't think this AC Milan team is playing that well at the moment either. Dead. Exactly. So dead. It's not to take anything away from Chelsea and what they're doing right now. I'm just saying that like it might take a little bit longer to see if it's a new manager bounce. But if I had to, put money on it now, I would say I don't think it's a new manager bounce. I think I've seen enough from Graham Potter, and I think there's enough quality there that it's probably just something that's going to naturally be good. Yeah. No, I agree. Games gone, never a pen.
My game's gone. It's always been a penalty that's never been given before. Potter isn't here to mess about. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. How's Potter schooling these Champions League managers? Because he's good enough. Because he is good enough. It's interesting. There's a fighter in the UFC at the minute called Michael Chandler. And he was smashing it up in Bellator, which is a different association within MMA. And there's a lot of people that had this impression that if you're a Bellator fighter, you're not of the standard of UFC fighters. When you speak to experts on MMA, that isn't the case. There's lots of Bellator fighters that are good enough for the UFC, but they're paid a lot by Bellator, so they don't move across. Michael Chandler, he has lost a couple of fights in the UFC, but they've been kind of close within the fights, and he's stepped up without ever having fought in there before. And he's gone in pretty much all these fights, barring one against Dan Hooker, have been against like elite level opponents. And sometimes you're just good enough without the experience. And Graham Potter has managed multiple levels. He's earned his skin in the game. He's earned his respect in the game, and he's a good enough manager. And I'm really happy to see him given an opportunity and a chance for multiple reasons. And one day he might be good enough, hopefully, to manage England to make us win some things and play good football. So there's a vested interest there. But he seems like a nice, humble, down-to-earth individual. Doesn't take himself too seriously publicly, but I bet behind the scenes he's an absolute meticulous individual. So yeah, very, very, very happy to see him doing that. And I want to say thank you to F1 Fan Zone for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. Now we're going to go to some calls very, very soon on the show. We've got Fator backstage, man like Matt David's back there. Who else we got there? We've got man like Redneck, Alex, and a few others as well that we're going to go to. I want you also, before we do that, though, to tell me how many points you got tonight on Top Kicks. How many points did you get tonight on Top Kicks? I managed nearly 1,000 points, nearly 1,000 points on there tonight. And the celebration, what I'm going to do, we'll have this up on the screen for you next time. I'm going to go and buy some more cards. I'm going to go and buy some more cards tonight, right? I bought some diamonds earlier as well. I'm going to see if I can get anyone decent. But I bought a lot today. It's a bit like FIFA sometimes. Sometimes you don't quite... I've got a lot of the same player as well. Let's have a little look and see who comes out on this, right? It's going to make some noise. Oh, I turned it off. Oh, I got... Is that a Kanji? I got a Kanji right for City, which is pretty good. Who else am I getting here? Tillman. Okay, all right. Come on, I want someone decent now. I want a good one. Who's that?
Samuel. Gigo.
I don't know who he is, but I got him. That's who he is. I'm going to do one more pack for you while we're live on the air, people. Make sure you scan that QR code in the corner or click on the link in the live comment section. I want a good one now. I want another Rafinha level. No.
Is that a Benzema?
I got Karim Benzema. Now I'm happy. That is a good one to get while I'm live on the air. Bit of Karim motherfucking Benzema. And who else did I get? Who's him?
You keep asking me.
You can read better than me.
About these Marseille players, I don't know them.
But you can read. I can't read.
Chancel and Mbemba.
Look at this. Degree level education, dyslexic moron. She reads as well as I do. There we go. Get it downloaded, people. We're going to go to your calls very, very soon indeed. You're not a funny man. I think, my friend, looking at your emoji, that's your way of saying you're so much more confident than me, and I'm sad about it. Listen, I wish you all the best in the world, my friend. I hope you get some love in your life very, very soon. Big up yourself. I'm looking forward to our defensive demolition. Our defense demoralizing Manchester City is what Jane has got to say there. Could definitely happen.
Some big words, a lot of chest. I see you Chelsea fans are getting really, really confident. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. See, this is what I knew I'd get a comment like this. The UFC is levels above Bellator. Stop these lies. I didn't say it wasn't.
Terrence?
I said some of the fighters in Bellator are good enough to go across and be brilliant straight away. I didn't say all of the fighters. The point, that's exactly the reason I gave that analogy is lots of managers that have only been at Graham Potter's level wouldn't be good enough to jump straight up, but some are good enough instantly. They just need to be given the opportunity. That was my point there, my friend. Thank you very much for proving me right there. Terry sending out love to the funny man. Show the dad bod, Daddy Terry. I'll shout for a price. I'll shout for a price.
Show it.
I'm saying a £200 super chat, and I'll do the rest of the show. No, £500 super chat, and I'll do the rest of the show my top off. That's what we'll do. There we go. You've had it. There we go. £1,000 super chat. I'll do the next show in an Arsenal shirt. But if you're going to pay me if you want me to embarrass myself, you got to compensate me. Right, let's go to some calls on the show. First up, you've been waiting ages. Fator is here with us. What are you saying, Fator?
Yeah, all good, Terry. All good. I'm enjoying that game, especially for the first 10 minutes. But after that, man, it was so dead after the red card. I don't know if I read the rule book again. Like, apparently Tomori sent off. If I'm mistaken myself here, I think he was sent off because he's the last man on the pitch. So it's unfortunate that had to happen. But after that, it was kind of went downhill onwards for AC Milan. But I think from Chelsea's side, we just controlled the game really well. And then the second half, he just took off Mason Mount just for a precaution because he got that yellow card. But yeah, at the moment, we just kind of play our football. Graham Potter ball looks great at the moment. And then, yeah, man, I think at the moment we're just a cup team. But I think we just start getting to the right direction under him. But I'm looking forward to the next set of couple of games. And the fact that the Reece James news kind of like, you know what, at least he's walking right at the end. But let's see by the scans tomorrow, and I hope it's not that serious though.
Yeah, I think if Reece James picks up an injury there, it's going to be tough because he's so good at what he does, and he just in these last two games, I know there was a few dribbles in the first match, but keeping Leao quiet simplistically in this game as well. Like the levels of Reece James right now are mad. Fator, appreciate you coming on, my friend, and having your say, brother, and all the support you give us. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Next on the show, we're going to jump to man like Matt, Kepa's best friend. Ooh, you're my best friend. What are you saying, bro?
Mate, he's my brother. He's my brother in disguise, all right? And again, a clean sheet once again. More clean sheets than Edouard Mendy's had this season, by the way, in I think it's that same amount of games. But Kepa Arrizabalaga, he's here to stay. He's here to play. I said it last week. Absolutely fantastic performance. Today, he didn't even have to do that much, I'll be honest. Today, and I was actually pissed that AC Milan could not barely get any shots on target because he could have saved half of them because he's a baller right now. He's got that confidence. And I said it last week. That's what you want in your players. You want your players who are having a bad streak of games to come back in form. And he's done that. Everyone should be on his back supporting him. This is what you want in your players to revive their career. But on other players, you see Mount, fantastic half. I mean, I came a couple of weeks ago and I said Mount's a finished generational talent. Maybe he can prove me wrong. I don't think he can. I still think he's a good player, but nothing special. But he did a fantastic performance. Jorginho, another player who was so good today, 97% ball possession. When you see that on a player, 97%, that's absolutely class from a midfielder. I love to see that from Jorginho. But the thing is with Jorginho is he can't play week in, week out, and we've known that. And that's why, for me, Potter needs to start implementing Zakaria. Zakaria is a player who needs to be consistently started. We need to get him involved ASAP. There were the rumors that he's going to be leaving in January. I don't think we should sell him. I said a couple months ago, I think he's a better signing than Rice if he gets implemented correctly. Tuchel would have been that man, but unfortunately it's not. Let's see how Potter can do it. And I'll say the thing with Potter, one thing with Potter is I'm not going to judge Graham Potter to the 2023-2024 season. We've seen this numerous times, from coming from Conte all the way up to Tuchel, right? We've seen this manager bounce have a fantastic, great first season, but it's his second season that counts. Graham Potter, I expect him to do well in the first season like every other Chelsea manager has done, but when it comes down to the long term, that's when I'll judge him. That's why I don't want to get ahead of myself. But right now, he's doing fantastic. I want him to keep it up. We did great in the UCL. The Tomori thing, I'll say on that, I mean, Frank Lampard got one thing right, and that's selling Tomori. Tomori, I don't think is a good enough player for Chelsea. I think AC Milan is his level. That penalty, I mean, it wasn't a red card. It was a yellow at most, but it was a penalty. But that's why he's at AC Milan. I've always said I don't think he's ever been good enough for Chelsea. AC Milan has him. Hope he kills at AC Milan. He's a fantastic player still.
I hear you on that. Matt, listen, great call. Thanks for coming on, mate, and we'll chat again soon. Thank you. Next up, we're going to go to, I never spoke to this caller before, so we're going to bring him on. It's Abs. What is that? No, hang on a minute. I have. It's Abs with hair. He's got hair. He never used to have hair. He's back. What are you saying? Shit, it's you. I didn't realize who you were.
Oh my gosh, I can him.
Where you been?
Not much.
Where you been? Did you get a girlfriend? Where you been?
school.
Nah, I just been doing my own thing. I'll be real. And listen, Tuchel Ball had me in the trenches. I'll be real. So I was just like, I was just hiding, doing my own thing.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, what did you make of the game tonight?
Listen. Today, bare agendas of him. I did Mason Mount. I've criticized him a lot because a lot of people were putting him on a level that he didn't really deserve to be at. But today, he was fantastic. He was mustard. So, from start, he only played 45 minutes, but in them 45 minutes, that's the best I've seen of Mount. And it was almost like watching Mount when we were on that 2021 run when we won the Champions League, which for me, and I know he got more output the season before, for me, his best season as an individual was that 2021 season. So hopefully we can get that version of Mount back. But it was such a controlled performance. And I was telling a couple of people on Spaces and a couple of my Chelsea mates that if we don't beat AC Milan home and away, then there's no chance of us going through. And we've done it. And, you know, on a more positive note, we've won our first game in Italy since 2004, I think, because our record there has been atrocious now.
Bruv, I mean, that is legitimately a madness. Like it's been, I didn't realize it had been that long. And as you say, a lot of people expected you to lose these two games, and you've been, I would say, almost flawless. You know?
Yeah, almost. It's just like, what's it called? Obviously, there was, Jorginho played quite well. That's one thing. I mean, these are his kind of games. He got caught lacking a couple of times in transition, but that's not really his game. It's not really someone who's gonna, make the tackle net. He's not like a Rodri or something, that kind of DM. Cover, listen, all the cover agendas are now in the bin. Do you see that ball you put in for Havertz? But then Havertz had that Lukaku touch that let him down. But apparently Kovacic can't pass forward, innit? That's why I got told by some Chelsea fans. That's all. Listen, it's a great performance. The power remontada is beautiful. Like, what's Villa?
The who, the where?
The power remontada. It's the Chelsea remontada under Graham Potter.
Say that in English. What does that word mean?
But you don't know remontada?
I can't hear it.
Remontada or whatever, like the resurgence, like the.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know what that word means. All I mean is I'm uneducated here. I'm not even joking. I'm like, is that what it means? I've heard it being said before. It's one of them words that might get said, and everyone goes, yeah, and most people go, I don't know what it means. It means resurgence. Got it now. Thank you, Abs. I appreciate it, bro. Listen, my guy.
Back.
It's great to talk to you again, looking all grown up and, do you know what I mean, looking like a little Bruno Mars, with the hair and everything, bro. Looking good, G. Listen, I'll chat to you again soon, mate, and we'll speak soon. All the best, mate. I wonder where he's gone. Some people used to call him so much, especially during lockdown, and then he's obviously just gone and got a life, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? Gone and got a life, maybe a lady. You know what I mean? Doing these things.
People just go missing. A lot of Chelsea fans went missing because they weren't playing well. Now they're back.
Daniel didn't do a top 6 show for like 7 weeks, and then Potter's back. They win, and he's like, "I'm back, Tel. Can I come back, please?"
Convenient.
Yeah. A history of Ronaldo to the Conference League soon. Oh, that's from Dubstep. Well done, my old mate. Well done. Thank you. Jess, your fun at the top of the league is now over. Enjoy it while it lasts. City will grab Arsenal grab Arsenal by the balls and we'll kick them down to 3rd.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Getting grabbed by the balls, Arsenal.
We're getting grabbed by the balls, I guess.
Balls. Oh no! How much to get Jess to do a show in the United shirt? How big would the donation have to be?
Gosh.
How much money would it take?
I'd never wear a Man United shirt.
You're from LA. That means you're buyable.
I'm sorry?
As in, not in that way. I mean, as in like to do things like theirs.
No.
How much would it cost them? How much donation to charity to wear a Man United shirt?
No, you guys, it's never happening. Anybody that knows me know that's not happening.
There we go. Yeah, show the dad bod. A few other people are saying it, but yeah, you have to pay me for that. Like this body is luxurious. Do you get what I mean? There is
Terry can be paid to do stuff. I won't sell my soul.
Oh, I don't mind having a laugh, but nothing in this world is for free.
I'd rather sit on a hot grill
than wear a Man United top.
Yeah.
How much is it? Yeah. Where's my card? I'm going to super chat my own show. Let's get out the plastic, people. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. What do you mean cancel Terry? What did I do? You all know what I meant. It was a joke that was meant to sound like it was bad, but everyone knew I meant charity. including Jessica. So there we go. Next on the show, we're going to get the redneck on the show, the redneck Russian. Alex is here. What you saying, mate? You're on mute.
Big up, guys. Yeah, keep forgetting to unmute myself before I talk. First of all, I will gonna stick up for Jess here because she's the only one that actually said that Aubame was actually gonna hit at Chelsea. Not a lot of even Chelsea fans believe that. We didn't. Some Chelsea fans said that he will not. He will be same as Lukaku. He's too old. He's done. Arsenal was exposed them, and she was the one that saying from the beginning that he still do what he does. And one thing I think actually that a little bit I think last season, if he did not leave in December, he could have helped Arsenal to get that top 4 because there's a couple of games that at the end of the season he could have helped him to get those points, the draws that could have helped him to get the top 4. Maybe it's a big maybe. But I think the divorce is already over in the situation. I think like both parties are happy at the situation. The only one is probably Aubame because he still has the tattoos of Arsenal on his.
Aubame. Who's Aubame?
I can't say it, man. I can't say it.
When Arsenal first signed him, there was an Arsenal fan on AFTV that called him a boomerang.
But then there's another thing. Don't do this to me. I know my English is not the best, but I'm going to call you on something on UFC and Ballador because I can understand you saying that Chandler can do good and some of them can transfer. One big problem. What Chandler did, he got the first shot to the really, really rating fighter. What a lot of UFC fans have to wait to get the shot to get that kind of level of fight. So for me, he shouldn't got that fight in the beginning. He should go for the trenches like every other UFC from the beginning.
I disagree. We're not going to have a UFC. We're not going to have an MMA debate, but I do disagree.
Okay.
I hear you on that. Listen, bro, a question. One question I did want to ask you. What was your thoughts on Mason Mount last few games?
Last game was good. This half was unbelievable. He was unplayable. He was putting the body the way like I didn't think he can bend that way to roll the play around him. The guy did it what he does best. Look, it's not about the Mount like he's a youngster. He's a young guy. You had to treat him like a young guy. If you think about it, Trent Alexander, what's his name? Reece James, Mount, they are young players at the highest level of the football. It's really a lot of things on their shoulders. And I think it's hard to judge those kind of young players at this kind of stage. I think Trent Alexander will come up and still be a good player. I refuse to think that you go from that good of a player to non-exist. You see what I'm saying? So that's for me. Another thing with Kepa, I'm happy he does that because we got to recuperate that money when we sell him somehow. Because if he was on the bench, he increases his value. Now increases his value. That's another thing. Tomori, I agree. He's never was Chelsea level. Frank was right to sell him, and I see the same mistakes he did at Chelsea. He did it again. That's another thing that I noticed in the game. The thing is about the red card. I did not know the rules in Europe change is in the Premier League. That double jeopardy thing. If you genuinely attempt to get to the ball, that will be a yellow card. It wouldn't be a red. So the people that saying that it was soft, it's the law. And if you go to the law, like it's like
I am the law.
Exactly. It's like a Uber. It's the way you say it's the way you're saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Can you say something else to me? This might offend some people, but I don't care. Can you say if he dies, he dies?
If he dies, he dies.
I love it. Listen, Alex, my old mate, I really appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. And we'll chat again soon. Thank you. Aubame. Do you know what? I butcher so many names. I'm terrible. I get loads wrong. As everyone in the studio has seen many Uber. Yeah. I heard people call him Uber as well. Ivan Drago. Yeah. If you're not as old as me, you might not get that if he dies, he dies. You've never seen Rocky 4. Remember RIP to Apollo Creed. Your son's doing well, though. He's doing well. David's on the show now with us. David, the Mount hater. Oh, he's going to answer for his crimes tonight, people. He hates him, wants him sold, and now he's in the mud. Welcome back, Davey boy.
Yeah, it was a good game. Good game, good win. Not much more to say than that. We just played really well. Again, trending in the right direction, but not the time to say we're back and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because, again, a bit of a weird game. They got a red card very early, so don't want to, jump on it too early. But we are trending in the right direction, so that's good. But yeah, no, Mount was very good today. I will give it to him.
Apologize.
Apologize for what?
You said he had to be sold 2 games ago.
I didn't say he had to be. Whoa! I said he had to be benched because he was putting in bad performances. But now he's putting in good performances. I have already apologized for my previous crimes. I am not doing that again. I've served my time. I've done that.
Quick question for you: did you think it was a pen, and did it deserve to be a red?
I thought that whatever the ref gave, I would have been happy with. I know it's a really bad answer to the question, but when I saw the ref give a red and a penalty, I said there's no way it's being overturned, because ultimately, again, that's not VAR's job. The referee's made a decision. He thinks it's whatever it is. There was no way it was going to be overturned. I think it was a bit soft, but I can see why. If he didn't give the pen, I could have seen why. And if he did give the pen, I can also see why. It's one of those ones. It's a 50-50. He gave it in our favour. Red card I thought was a bit harsh, but referee's going to referee. And to be fair, I think even though the referee made some questionable calls, he was consistent. And you know what? If in the whole game, no, because the thing is, if in the whole game he was consistently bad, both teams are just there like, okay, if we even touch someone, it's a foul. But at least we then both know if we touch someone, it's a foul. If you're going to be bad, be consistently bad. Don't be bad for one side and get good for another.
Yeah, I mean, he gave that. I mean, he did some things to you as well. I mean, that foul in the opening, you might have scored from that counter attack where Kovacic wins. The guy trips over the ball. I think it was Theo Hernandez. Sorry, him. He falls over the ball and it gives a foul. I mean, that in some respects was a worse decision than the red card. Because at least the red card, there's a precedent for it. He fouled a player who was about to... Mount was going to score from there. In my opinion, Mount gets hold of that full pelt. It's a goal. He stopped a goal. You have to be sent off.
Sterling's yellow. That was strange to me as well. I didn't understand it. I thought he was fouled.
All the yellows were just a bit... They were all just a bit strange. Like,
it was weird,
yeah. Like, there were just times I see him whip out a yellow card and start writing people... I'm just thinking, did I, miss something? I don't know. Like, he booked one of our players for arguing with the Milan player about giving us a penalty. That to me was, I was just like,
yeah, the Mason Mount one confused me. Like, because there's nothing, there would have been nothing that Mason Mount would have said that would have warranted it. Like, why would he be moaning?
Exactly.
Can we have it? Can we take it from 10 yards, ref? What's he moaning about? Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy to me. How are you feeling now? I know we didn't speak at the weekend. 5 games in now. Another clean sheet. Unlike Tuchel, Potter's got you scoring goals. Aubameyang firing. Like, how are you feeling about things now?
I'm feeling a lot better about things, but my prediction of coming second, I feel, was in a worse position than when Tuchel was here, because I felt like I knew what I was going to get with Tuchel, but with Potter, I have no idea. For all we know, Pep and Arteta could go on quite questionable runs, and this could just be our form for the rest of the season, and we end up winning the league. And suddenly, my expectations have gone through the roof. Whereas we could also end up with a situation where this is literally just a good set of fixtures that have fallen at the right time, and then we lose a couple of games, and then we end up finishing 5th. And everyone would be like, if we finish 5th, I feel like most people would be there like, Potter's first season, he's still adjusting to being at this level and so on and so forth. It's a weird one. Again, it's really early to judge what's going on, but the team is trending in the right direction. We are creating more chances. I feel like the system that he's playing, even though it's the same in terms of formation on piece of paper, it's what it is, and it was the same as Tuchel's. I felt like when it's playing, it feels a lot more fluid, and I feel like it better suits the players that we have. And I can see in future where we can make improvements. Like, for me, I'm looking at Havertz thinking that you may not be here for very long. Even though I love Havertz, I look at him and just think you may not be here for a while. I look at someone like Pulisic and sit there and go like, you're probably not.
Yeah, your German contingent that you loved, that you buzzed over. Look, they all look well. 2 are gone. There's 1 remaining.
Yeah.
On his way out,
however, they were crucial in winning my club a Champions League, so I'll take that. I'll take it.
True. David, mate, I'm sure we'll speak again soon, buddy. Thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it. Chat again soon, David. Thank you. Yeah, they're over. I didn't understand this one. This super chat says, towards the end, I swear they took the ref pen away.
I don't know.
What, the
Is
ref
he saying like his pen?
As in,
so
like
he
the
can
penny,
stop
the penny
giving
rights
away.
Yeah, I get it. They
yellows?
took his pen away, so he stopped booking people. Okay, I get you now. At first, I was like, I thought he meant like penalty. I didn't really understand it. I was like, Aubame. I do want to speak about another subject tonight as well, though, because PSG lost, but Aubameyang today has essentially said he wants to. He's handed a transfer request. He's unhappy that Messi's got Mbappe. That's Aubameyang. Yeah. Mbappe has put in a transfer request. He said that Messi's got more power than him. The club didn't get rid of Neymar and buy a new number 9. They didn't buy a centre back. And I've also heard they haven't installed the red slushy machine in the changing room that he wanted. That's a joke. But Mbappe wants to leave. Do you feel like he's been a bit petulant here, or do you understand his rationale for wanting to leave PSG?
I mean, on face value, when you look at it and it's like, okay, he wanted different types of players and he wanted something specific and maybe he was promised those things, you can kind of see it. But at the same time, it's not like PSG did nothing. They redid the entire midfield in that team. They brought in quite a few players and maybe they just couldn't get to it. I remember the entire summer, they really tried to bring in Skriniar. They did. They tried to, and they just couldn't get it done because he was so expensive.
Yeah.
And bringing in a number 9 was probably really difficult because we all know this summer, bringing in a number 9 was hard. It really, really was. So I do think they tried. They were in for Scamacca. They tried it. They're also looking at Aubameyang potentially as well. So they tried. They just couldn't get everything done. So for me, it does kind of feel like he's being petulant. And when I saw the reports, I just said he just wants attention. That's just what it felt like to me. Like, I'm just going to be upset about something and make a hoopla because nobody's talking about me or something like that. I get that maybe you want to be the star, but even if you go to Real Madrid, you're going to be in another team full of stars. So is that really what it is? It just feels like Mbappe has main character syndrome and he's just kicking up a fuss for no reason. You guys are doing okay. Can't you go through the season and try to play with Messi and Neymar and try to win the Champions League before you start to kick up crap right now at the beginning? Like, it just feels early for this.
I look at it this way with Mbappe. I understand this notion he wants to be the main man. But where did he get to go in the world that can afford him where he's guaranteed to be the main man? And I say that because if he comes to England, Liverpool aren't paying for him, so he's not going there. Man City is the other option, really. And Man City, Haaland is the main man. KDB is one of the main men already. So he's going to have to share that anyway. You could argue Chelsea, he could go to and be the main man. He could do it at Chelsea. Barcelona, can Barca afford him after what they've been through? Probably not. You've got Real Madrid. You've got Vinny Jr. You've got Benzema, currently still there. Then he isn't just going to walk in and be the main man instantly. And the way their teams play football, he may be utilized elsewhere. I always remember Thierry Henry talking about how when he went to Barcelona, this is big man Thierry Henry. He went to Barca and Pep said, you're playing in a position on the wing. I want you to be as wide as possible because you were going to open space for Messi. And I think it was either Xavi or Iniesta, one of the two. I think Iniesta and Messi to thrive in. And I believe what Thierry Henry said is that he didn't want to do it, but the team winning, the team being operational was more important. So he did it for the team. And he said that because the team was winning, he goes, I kept my mouth shut and worked hard. He said, if we were losing, then I would have put my hand up and had an argument and said, hang on a minute. Well, maybe can we try something different? Can I go central? Can I be the main goal outlet? Mbappe could be a problem for every single club if somebody else arrives. So even if you're Chelsea and you think, I love Mbappe, we should be all over this, think long and hard, because what if he comes in and does great, but what if you sign somebody else in a year, in 18 months, who just goes to next levels and becomes an absolute superstar for you, and suddenly the manager says, right, we're going to change the system slightly. Mbappe, you're going to be on the right, but we need you to stay out wide to make space for Joe Bloggs in the middle. Mbappe's going to kick up a stink and be angry. And you can never have a single player who is the guaranteed star, the guaranteed starter. You've got to earn it. You've got to earn it. And look, Messi and Ronaldo were the stars everywhere they went, but they goddamn earned it. They weren't given that privilege. They earned that privilege by being consistent on a regular basis. And hearing Mbappe acting like, I want to go somewhere where I'm the main man, that's a disgraceful attitude. No footballers. Well, I've also got that kind of issue with Neymar. Neymar had it. I want to go from Barca to join a team where I'm going to be the star. And within a year of being there, Mbappe came in. You can never guarantee you're going to be the star because you have no idea who's going to come through the ranks, be purchased. It's a terrible mindset to have in life. And
I'm not going to lie. Like, Neymar is such a good example because he has the level of talent where he should probably be achieving at not similar, but right higher than what he is. Like, he's definitely has that level of talent. Like, I don't want to say he's like Ronaldo and Messi, but he has those levels of talent kind of. But he hasn't achieved as much because he hasn't gotten with the team, because you have to have a team. You have to be in a team setup to win things. You know, you have to play the role, and he didn't do that. He went to PSG, and he's not really, he's what, 27, 28, 29. I don't know. He's in his late 20s now. And where is he? And so Mbappe can be in a similar position if he doesn't get with the program and realize that in a good team, he's going to have to play a role. He can't just be the main man. If he wants to be the main man and just kind of chill and be able to run things on his own, he needs to stay at PSG. But are PSG going to actually do anything?
Well, I think on top of it, I think he also realizes being at PSG is a mistake. Messi himself is thinking of already leaving PSG and going back to Barcelona, which is an option. PSG play in a very technically gifted league. They play in a league that creates lots of good players, but they also play in a league where French people watch La Liga and the Premier League more than they watch Ligue 1. Outside of the diehard fans of those clubs, he's in a league where he's now seeing the likes of Haaland and others of similar age groups to him being discussed more. Haaland is seen by tens of millions of more people a week. And I'm not talking the highlights on YouTube or Twitter. I'm talking the actual games. Tens of millions of people a week are watching Haaland and not him. And I think that he's regretting his decision to stay at PSG. So he's going to do what many, many players have done in the past. And he's going to turn around and throw his toys at his pram and moan. And it's probably a little bit of legitimacy because Luis Campos reportedly wants out for the same reasons. But I get a feeling that Mbappe's seen this as his opportunity to, this is how I get out. Similarly to Lukaku, I'm regretting the decision. How do I get out? Right, I've seen people moan that that Tuchel's system's a little bit doesn't work for strikers. So I'm going to start throwing that out there as the reason why I'm struggling and not settling. And that will be the start. That will be the seed planted to begin my exit. And we've seen this so many times with football players. And I think, again, we're seeing it here with Mbappe. And look, I'm not surprised to see PSG draw tonight. In terms of the overall results for them, they'll be okay. Of course they are. They'll go through. But like drawing against Benfica, as you can see here, 1-1, it's a poor result for them, really. Looking at their group just quickly, I mean, I think they're absolutely fine in their group. They're joint top now, but that's 2 draws in it. They're joint top with Benfica. They'll be fine. Like, they're not going to lose. They're not going to fall. It's almost, I think they're already qualified. Pretty well, they're almost qualified. They're 5 points clear of the team in third. So they've got absolutely no issues at all whatsoever in terms of making it through to the knockout stages. But again, I know it might be a little bit premature, but they ain't winning this Champions League. They're not winning this Champions League at all.
I mean, we it's like every single year we're looking at them. We're like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. And then it's not. And I mean, they're still going to perform well. And on their day, they can pretty much be anybody. But I think ultimately that lack of team usually kicks them in the butt in the end. And yeah, it is what it is with them. It's really unfortunate. Spent a lot of money, have a lot of talented players, but I really can't see them winning the Champions League. But at the same time, when I look at how most teams are performing at the moment, I'm not seeing a lot of excellence here from the biggest teams, to be honest. I think Bayern's doing a really good job. Man City's obviously playing quite well. Everybody else is just kind of there and thereabouts, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Real Madrid lose tonight. Draw tonight. That would feel like a loss to them. Only the first time they've dropped points in this group stage, top of their group. Another disaster class, I hear, by a certain Zard in the 10 role tonight. But yeah, I mean, the main teams are doing what they've got to do. City drop points tonight. It doesn't really matter. You win your first 3 games, you're almost guaranteed to go through. As an example, what they need to look out for though, PSG, is you just don't want to come second. You typically want to get a slightly easier draw in the first knockout stages if you can, but it doesn't always work out that way, really. I mean, most people thought Real Madrid got the hardest draw last year, and they were going to go out in every round, and they ended up winning the damn thing.
It's so unpredictable. It really is. And now I'm starting to look at this might be a conversation for another day, but looking to see who potentially could go into the Europa League. Because some of these teams are looking like they're going into the whoa.
Juve could. Let's see what Spurs do tomorrow night, because Spurs could be in the whoa-whoa-whoa-whoas. They could be in the whoa-whoa-whoa-whoas tomorrow on Thursday. Yeah. The only thing I'm sad about with that advert is that they've now taken Ramsdale off it, saying, we're back. I think they've deleted it. It's like, come on, man, that was funny for us to laugh at. It's the only thing we've been able to laugh at Arsenal about all year, and they've taken it away.
There'll be some laughs. Don't worry. Yeah, we're good for it.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't had it done yet. Mbappe to Newcastle, maybe. Can you imagine? History of Ronaldo. Oh, sorry, I've already had that one. I've already had all of them. So I'm going to just unstar those. Let's do a couple more quick calls before the end of the show. Chike.
Hey, Terry. Hey, Jess. How are you? First of all, Terry, you look fantastic the way you are. Second of all, ignore that guy. It's just what it is that it's 80%. 80% of it is what you eat. All right. And I know it's hard now with football, with the Premier League, Champions League, NFL. Trust me, I know it's hard. I'm struggling with that too. But as long as you work out, treat yourself to something on the weekends, then you should be okay.
That's my problem.
It's a weekend every day.
A weekend every day. My job. And I don't have a problem. I love eating bad food. That's the thing. It's not a problem to me. But I appreciate your kind words, Chike. I do. What you saying, bro? What you saying?
Oh my God. First of all, Riyad Mahrez should never take a penalty for us again. My golly. I mean, that guy, I think he's missed his last 7 or 8 penalties I've heard. Yeah. I don't know why. Shouldn't strikers be the one that take penalties, not midfielders? Because strikers have a better chance of converting penalties, if I'm correct. But that's just me.
I mean, sometimes some strikers aren't very good at them, but some can be. But yeah, look, tonight was one of those weird ones. I was kind of watching parts of your game. I don't even think you guys care. I mean, your manager didn't care. He didn't bring Haaland on. He was like, no, we don't care. It's one of those hard ones that when your team's won the first 3 or 4 games, those 4th and 5th games can be so hard to watch because they're just. I sometimes feel, again, you can't not play them because the teams below you are playing for Europa League places, but sometimes if you had the option, I'd rather forfeit them and give the 3 points to the other team, like, because they're so hard to watch. You can't do that, but they're so boring sometimes.
Honestly, and also with the Chelsea match, that red card, that was like, seriously. I thought European referees were better. I was dead wrong, bro. That is not a red card nor a penalty at all. I'm so sorry, but that is not a penalty or red card at all. It really isn't. Seriously, I thought refereing was supposed to be better. I thought European referees were supposed to be better, but they are not, bro. That referee was shocking today. That referee was absolutely shocking tonight. He should never referee a game ever again. Like, seriously.
Chike is going in like me on a Big Mac. He's having it, bruv. He's having it. Listen, me old mate, thank you for coming on and having a say, and I'll chat to you again soon. Top man. That's how you do a fan cam, though. You come in and you say what you think. The Winter Surfer knows his ball here. It really is a penalty and a red card. The Winter Surfer, that's why Winter Surfer comes on so much. Winter Surfer, as far as I'm aware, hosted a Chelsea podcast for us last night. So well done on hosting a podcast on the terrace. I was slightly involved in the decision making, but KJ runs all that. But well done, my friend. Chelsea OG, you're on mute, bro.
I just said big up, bro. Big up, man. Well, yeah, man. Bro, the referee was set to strict mode. I say he was strict mode. Tomori should have clocked that from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, FIFA fam. Should have clocked that from the beginning. Like, so that's the reason. If he's giving yellows for these little things, and as you said, the Kovacic foul, he might, Tomori should have clocked this ref's on one today, bro. But as for Potter, bro, that Potter ball, man, I've jumped ship. Man. I'm not. There's the Tuchel ship, there's the C, and then there's Potter ship. You know what I'm saying? But
bro, you're like that guy. You're like that guy. You know, in the Titanic, who pretends it's his kid and he gets on with the women and children.
Yes. No, that's Matt, man. That's Matt, bro. Matt's at the bottom of the deck, innit? You know what I'm saying? I know a few Chelsea fans who are fully out there doing the Titanic. They're like, Potter. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the middle.
I'm flying, Graham. I'm flying.
You know them fairies when you go in there, like there's the little middle deck where you can gamble and play arcade and all that. That's where I am. I'm waiting. I'll jump to the top of the top.
No, but you've gone from there. This is where you are. Thomas Tuchel is frozen to death in the water, and you've let him go to sink, and you've swum for safety. You've left him, bruv. You've left him.
Bro. Not fully. I threw a buoy out here. I said, go through it all.
What did you make of the penalty and red card, bro?
But I'm seriously, when he gave these simple yellows and fouls, I knew he's on one, but I reckon the AC Milan, they thought, oh, he's on our side. When really he was just fully a strict D, bro. Today, that ref, I saw that coming. Already. I was like, you know what? This guy's on one. Either he has a Chelsea agenda or he's just on one today. Luckily, he was on one, so he was gonna, send someone off. He gave 6 yellow cards out, man. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I hear that, bro. Yeah. But another good win for you. Another clean sheet, and onwards and upwards. Listen, OG, thanks for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much indeed. Super chat here from Blaze, who says that Chike is a reason to why Brits don't listen to Americans.
You guys listen to me, right?
Listen, Chike's cool. He's allowed an opinion. Do me a big favor before you leave, people. Hit the like and the share button, subscribe, but make sure you scan that QR code or download the Tops Kick 23 app, the best digital collectors app in the world. Brilliant fantasy games, not just for the Champions League, but the Europa League, MLS, and of course the German Bundesliga as well. There's lots of games, lots of contests, and much more for you to play on there. So make sure you get it downloaded right now. Jess, always a pleasure to call the games and share the screen with you. Javern, thank you very much again on the text tonight. We're back tomorrow. More content in the morning. Big Glazer video from me tomorrow. Keep your eyes out for it because I'm going in again on United fans because they're not selling. So look out for that one tomorrow. Plus much more. We're live after the Champions League games as well. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And always remember,